It's time for Celebrity Corner, and our man on the corner is one of the most outspoken actors of all time. Celebrity Corner.
Oh my God.
Time now for the Odd Couple Celebrity Corner.
It is our good friend, our great friend. We love having him on the show, even in studio on occasion. He is none other than Michael Rapaport. And Mike, before you come on, let me give you the proper introduction, all right? You are on tour doing stand-up, and on October 4th through 6th, you'll be in Washington, D.C. at the D.C. Improv, and then October 17th through the 19th, you'll be in New York City at Caroline's.
Wow.
All tickets and information available at michaelrapaport.com. Man,
that is a fact. That is a fact.
Hey,
Now,
I got a question.
Rob.
I got a question. Is it a blue show? What kind of show? Because, I want to do stand-up too, but I can't do blue. I got to do clean. What kind of show you got going?
Well, I mean, I would say it's blue because of the cursing, but it's
Right.
not. It's not blue like it's not Andrew Dice Clay. I throw around the 5 words that you're probably not supposed to say on this radio show.
Yes.
But other than that, it's not anything crazy. It's not anything that's going to scar your soul. It's heavy trash talk. It's comedy, and I'm excited to be on tour. I'm excited to be in D.C. and then of course playing New York City is going to be dope. I'm excited about week 4 of the NFL, and I'm excited that tomorrow, as I'm sure you guys have already discussed, the NBA season is going into training camp. I mean, you guys know me. I know you guys. And I know you guys are totally nuts. I'm totally nuts about sports. This is like when all the planets are aligning for the greatest time of the season. We have the holidays coming up. But the fact that training camp has started, the fact that Danny Dimes won his first game as a New York Giant, I don't even know where to begin. This ridiculous Bleacher Report top 50 of all time list. Whatever you guys want to discuss.
Let's get to all of it. Now, I love the excitement, but you're a Knicks fan.
Yeah.
And there's no reason to be excited about the Knicks. Am I wrong?
Chris just poured water on your head right there.
I mean, I'm just keeping it real because you my man, so we can do that.
Chris, I come on with enthusiasm. You just heard me excited. That was genuine
exactly.
Excited. And then the fans, the listeners, they hear the air get knocked out of me at the top of the interview by a guy. It's like I'm a guest. You're basically saying come over, and now you're saying take the trash out. Why do you do this to Broussard?
It was a rough summer, man. Oh gosh, it was
but you know that. Now let me ask you this, Mike. Is it cool or not? If people decide in New York enough is enough with the Knicks and start to decide that I want to go to Brooklyn to watch, they got a beautiful arena, they got some star players. Is it wrong? It's a New York team now. It is. Is it wrong for people to start going over there?
It isn't wrong. My biggest thing with the Knicks is why do the fans pay their hard-earned money to come see the product? Now, I love David Fizdale. I truly do. And I think that we have young talent. And I think this year will be a step in the right direction. If we're lucky, we'll scratch getting into the playoffs with the 8th seed. But historically, the last 20-something years, why last year when we won 17 games, I believe, is the Garden filled up every single night. I don't get it. It's like if you go to a Broadway play and they have not the star, not Denzel, not even the guy who's substituting for Denzel, and then maybe not even the 3rd string guy. You got a 4th string guy
right.
that sometimes cleans up the theater.
He's a college student who wants to act.
Right.
You're not going to go. So listen. I wouldn't be upset if fans started going to Brooklyn. It's obviously going to be more exciting, in a month when the season starts. I'm not one of these people. I'm a Giants fan, but I always want to see the Jets do. I've been very supportive of the Brooklyn Nets. You can't hate on the Brooklyn Nets. It's Brooklyn. You can't hate on anything Brooklyn. I want to see them, do well. Obviously, I want to see my Knicks do well. I didn't like the stuff that was coming out of Kyrie today. I thought that was a bunch of hogwash, a bunch of coulda,
Now,
woulda, shoulda,
what
nonsense.
exactly did you mean? Because he said, he talked about Durant. He talked about his time in Boston. What he said something specific about the Knicks? Because I didn't catch that if he did.
No. It wasn't about the Knicks. It was just about, like, he contextualized the Boston situation. He goes, oh, it was 9 months ago, as if it was 20 years ago. But, man,
Okay.
nothing's changed. Nothing's changed. And number two, you're talking about, like, he was basically saying, well, Kevin Durant, got forced into playing out there. No, he didn't. And if Kevin Durant got forced into playing out there, why didn't you go to social media and make a big statement and call him and Facebook it and Instagram it and plead and pledge for him not to play during the playoffs? Why are you talking about it after the fact? Kevin Durant knew what he was getting himself into. Obviously, he wanted to play. And it was a terrible, unfortunate injury that happened. But, like, this coulda, woulda, shoulda, I knew, but he got pushed out there and basically saying the man pushed him out there for them but not for him. This is nonsense from him. And Kyrie Irving is such a great talent, and it's like, but his personality doesn't match what we see on the court. On the court, we see this, it's like a rainbow of colors. It's like if there was a crayon a box for Kyrie Irving, he would have the big box with 164 colors. He's one of the most beautiful players ever. But when he starts talking, it's like, what are you talking about? And it's like, no, you didn't say anything. You should have Facebooked it, back then. Yo, don't play. I'm begging you not to play. You're going to get hurt. Don't do it. Now you're talking about it? It's like that. And you see a lot of the fans. This is Brooklyn. You're appealing to fans of Brooklyn people. They have instincts. They have gut instincts. You talk about, like, true blue, street smarts. We could read through all that nonsense. So just chill, play ball, because when you're on the court, it's fantastic. Every time he starts talking with his flat earth and his hyperbole and all this nonsense, it's half cooked. It's half cooked. He wants to come off like he's so much smarter than I actually think the actual end result of what he's saying is. And I love Kyrie as a player, but I'm just like, yo, why are you starting the season like this so Kevin Durant couldn't make decisions on his own? So that's what I didn't like about him today.
The great actor, comedian Michael Rapaport joining us on the Odd Couple. Go ahead, Rob, because I know you want to get to the top 50, Mike. So
I do want to. Right, I do. One more other question I want to do when you talk about. Okay, so am I Meshuggah if I say Clippers win the title this year and the Nets win it next year?
No, you're not. I mean, it's so early to say, but if the Clippers win it this year, I won't be surprised. They were tough last year. Obviously, they picked up two ridiculously good players. They're going to have a lot more confidence. They have those dogs on the team.
They do have dogs. Love those dogs.
They got everything you want. I mean, honestly, on paper,
they got a coach.
Everything.
They got everything you need.
Right.
They play
got
defense.
Coach, role players, two stars who are unselfish, who can fit into a system. I mean, there's nothing not to like. Only if, they got one challenge: injuries. Paul George, we know he's coming back. But I mean, like, Paul's coming back late. Not late, but he won't be there for the start of the season. And then Kawhi, with the load management, and even then he was limping through the finals and the playoffs. So that would, I guess, be the only thing you could point to that might be a red flag. Other than that, they check all the boxes.
I agree. So, I mean, I had a premonition, and I don't want to go down the LeBron road, but I had a premonition, and it came over me like just a terrible chill, like it was like a nightmare premonition the other day that the Los Angeles Lakers were going to beat the Philadelphia 76ers in the finals. I don't want that to happen. You guys, you know that I don't want that to happen. That was my premonition. I would love if the Clippers won. I love all their dogs. I love the Montrezl Harrells. I love, they have
Beverly
good,
Autos. Yep.
Yeah, Pat. They have the, Sweet Lou Williams. They have all those guys. So I think it would be great. And I'm excited that tomorrow, Saturday, the actual training camp start. I cannot wait for NBA to start.
All right,
sure
Mike.
You guys are going nuts for
no,
it.
we're going crazy. Let me get to this because I know you want to talk about Bleacher Report released their top 50 players of all time. Let me read the top 10, a couple things, and then you can go ahead and respond. Top 10, Steph Curry, number 10, Wilt Chamberlain, 9, Bill Russell, 8, Tim Duncan, 7, Shaquille O'Neal, 6, Larry Bird, 5, Magic Johnson, 4, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, 3, LeBron James, 2, Michael Jordan, 1. And let me give you this real quick because they're Knicks. The Knicks, Walt Frazier, 48th, and Patrick Ewing 38th. So go ahead. What do you want to comment on?
Let me tell you something. This Bleacher Report top 50 list, I'm going to keep it all the way live, all the way real, rough, rugged, and raw. It's time for these lists to pick a year and cut off the rest of the players. You can't compare. Listen, I'm full Jew. I'm full Jewish. My everybody in my family, I am 100% Jew.
Right.
Dolph Schayes, the great Dolph Schayes, should not be on the top 50 list. This is
right. And 31. He wasn't even on the just on the list. He was 31.
And Bob Pettit shouldn't be on the list. Bob Pettit. Let me tell you something.
He was 30.
I just threw people that were not on the list. You know how many points Damian Lillard would average if he played in 1955? He would average 65 points a game, 20 rebounds a game, and 15 assists. That's Dame Dollar. So Bob Pettit, Dolph Schayes, and I'm even going to say this, and I'm going to keep it real. At this point, at a certain point, we got to start looking at guys like my guy, Clyde Frazier, and no disrespect, and I've said this before. You know I've heard this before. Get Bill Russell off these lists. Get Oscar Robertson off these lists. I know, blasphemy.
That is blasphemy.
Fellas, I hate to tell you this. If there is not record, if you can't watch these guys play more than 10 games, if we can't reference 10 great Bill Russell games, 10 great Bob Pettit games, 10 great Oscar Robertson games, and 10 great Dolph Schayes games, we have to take them off the list because we're just talking about like Dungeons and Dragons with fantasy now. It's hearsay. None of us have watched. You guys are as good as it gets when it comes to basketball knowledge. I have nothing but respect for you guys. But I would bet both of you, bet your bottom dollar that you haven't watched Bill Russell play in 10 full basketball games. How could it be on top 10 list?
Here's the thing. Look, I hear where you're coming from, Mike. But we can't just cut them off.
Yes, we
I mean, and I think you have to
have video, right?
You have to weigh them in their era. It's all subjective. It's all subjective. But
Mike,
look, if you give, hold on, let me say this, Mike. If you give Bill Russell, Wilt Chamberlain, Bob Cousy, all those guys, the benefits they have today, year-round play, AAU, weight training, nutrition, charter
private
flights,
planes,
better
right.
sneakers. I mean, I think the superstars of any era would be at the very least stars of every era.
And Mike,
I get what you're saying, but if I'm not saying that Dame Lillard. I don't want to be confused. I'm not saying that Dame Lillard should be on that list, but he's one of the people they mentioned. But if Dame Lillard played in 1955 when Bob Pettit was the MVP, Dame Lillard would average 65 points a game.
Well,
so that's why I'm saying
if you took Bill Russell as he was, no improvements, nothing.
League.
Well, he was what, 6'9", 6'10",
what
maybe,
would he be?
and he couldn't. He'd have. Yeah, you'd be saying he's a tweener. He doesn't have a position. So I get it. But if we give them, look, I had this debate, and I want to hear your point on this, Mike. I want to hear. Is there something? Is there a radio?
It's a radio on. What is that?
No, I'm sorry. I'm at this TwitchCon convention. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
All right. I want to ask you this, Mike, because I had this debate with some guys a week or two ago, and they told me that JaVale McGee, now you're going to fall out of your seat, Rob. JaVale McGee is better. Like, if he had played back in the day, he would have been better than Wilt Chamberlain.
Okay.
I mean, I agree. He would have been as good. JaVale McGee would have been the next Wilt Chamberlain. And JaVale McGee would be on the top 30 list. JaVale McGee would be in Bob Pettit's spot right now. And listen, as far as a Jewish man and Jewish athletes, we have nothing. I hate to take the great Dolph Schayes off.
Well, some of the first great hoopers were Jewish. You know that. A lot of the first great hoopers were Jewish.
I don't care. That's what I'm saying. There's no biasness. I just threw Walt Clyde Frazier under the bus. So
I was surprised at that. But hold on, Mike. But here's what you're saying, though. Basically, the top 50 players are going to be 40 players from today and maybe 10 from the 90s and 80s.
No, I don't agree. No, I think
or
that
30 and 20 or something like that.
No, it's not from today because I'm all about my 80s and 90s. But I'm just saying these lists need to be pick a year. I don't know what the year is, 1970, 1975.
Well, you know what? I'm going to give you something. A lot of times they say when the merger, the ABA-NBA merger, 1976. That's what they say a lot of times.
You guys are the basketball nerds. You can figure it out. I'll leave it up to you two, the odd couple, to figure it out. I'm just saying, enough with these lists. It's ridiculous.
Look,
Bob Pettit?
We are going to get you.
Bob Pettit was an orthodontist. He did he was my father's butcher in the offseason.
We're gonna get you in the when you get back off tour. We're gonna have you come in because this is I would love to spend the rest of the show talking about this, but we gotta go. You know how it is. But let's get you in the show. Let me announce your tour dates again. October 4th through the 6th at the DC Improv in Washington, D.C., and then at Caroline's in New York City, October 17th through the 19th. All tickets and information available at michaelrapaportcomedy.com.
Mike,
when you get back, Mike, we'll have you in the studio.
Let's do it. I appreciate you guys. I want to argue about this. It's the greatest time of the year coming up for sports fans, you guys. And I love the show. I love you guys,
Definitely.
and I can't wait to come in the studio.
All right, brother.
Break
Peace.
a leg. Break a leg.
All right, 877-99 on Fox. Hopefully you saw the Bleacher Report list. You heard me announce the top 10. We want your opinions. I got real beef with some of this stuff, Rob. But let's hear from the callers. 877-99 on Fox. 877-996-6369. What did you think about Bleacher Report's top 50 players in NBA history? Let me just give you something. Allen Iverson was not on the list, which is ridiculous. Can I say a few things about this list that really irked me?
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't have much of a problem. The top 4 is my top 4. Michael Jordan 1, LeBron James, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Magic. Bird at 5, I'm cool with. Shaq at 6, I'm cool with. Duncan at 7. I'm not mad about these. I wouldn't put Bill Russell ahead of Wilt Chamberlain. They had Steph Curry number 10. I think it's a bit early. That's all I'm gonna say.
I'm glad you said that. I think you're right.
He could get there. Yeah, I can't put him ahead of Kobe Bryant right now. Kobe was number 14. I don't know how you put Steph ahead of Kobe right now. Here's one of the worst. David Robinson was number 12, Rob.
Really?
Ahead of Olajuwon, ahead of Kevin Durant, ahead of Kobe, ahead of Jerry West, Charles Barkley, Carmel. No. And I know where they got this from. This proves that their list was too dependent on analytics and just computer numbers. Because, Rob, from 1984 to 2002, IBM used to give out an MVP award every year to the NBA Player of the Year. And David Robinson won it more than anybody. He won 5, right?
He had the formula. He had the right formula for the analytics.
Points, rebounds,
right.
he was a good passer.
Not that he wasn't a great player.
He was great, but 12th?
Right, no. That's
Are
a
you
stretch.
kidding me? No, and there's no way you can put him ahead of Olajuwon.
Nope. We got some calls. People want to chime in real quick. Let's do that.
And
Zach.
I'm fired up. We're gonna have to do this topic one day, Rob. But let's go
we'll
to the callers.
It. No doubt. Zach in Virginia, you're on the Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio. What you got?
Hey, good evening, fellas. How are you?
Great.
How are you, Zach?
Good. Heading into work, man. I just have two things. I cannot see Steph Curry being in the top 10 over Kobe Bryant or Kevin Durant. That's just my personal opinion.
And Steph Curry is the author of one of the biggest chokes in the NBA Finals.
Yeah. Well, I believe Kevin Durant's a better player, and Kobe Bryant has 5 rings.
Yeah, right. I feel you on that.
That's premature.
As much as I love Steph, it's premature. And is he better than Kevin Durant? Right now, I'd say no. Now, if Steph can go on and lead Golden State to more titles or say they're better than the Nets the next few years with Durant healthy, then maybe you can put Steph ahead of KD. But and then Kobe, no, not right now. Not right now.
Travis in Orlando, you're on The Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Travis?
Evening, good afternoon, guys.
What's happening?
I wanted to talk about, I guess, the number 46 rated player on the list. Pau Gasol is rated too high, in my opinion. Pau Gasol.
Thank you. Let me ask you this. What is that, Curtis?
No, Travis.
Travis. I'm sorry, Travis. Travis, there is not a world, there is not a planet, there is not a universe, there is not a solar system on which Pau Gasol is better than Isaiah Thomas, Rob. They had Isaiah Thomas ranked 47th.
Which is outrageous.
Who did this list?
And Isaiah Thomas, one of the best little guys who ever played in the NBA. Without
the second
question.
best, I think, to Steph Curry. Some would say the best. He's no lower than 2.
Right, no doubt about it.
47, that's sacrilegious.
Let's squeeze one more in. Can we do that? Joseph in Indiana, you're on The Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Joseph?
Not much. How you guys doing tonight?
Doing
What's
great.
happening, man?
I think I haven't got a chance to see the list, but I think they have LeBron James too high, and they should have at least have Reggie Miller maybe in the top 20, top 10, replacing Steph Curry, and put LeBron maybe about number 7.
See, you said Reggie Miller in no, Reggie was 43rd. I actually think that might be a little high.
You think so?
I don't think Reggie's better than Ray Allen. Ray Allen was 44th. I would put Ray Allen, and I would take Iverson over Reggie Miller.
You would, even though Reggie was able to lead that team to I know he never won anything.
To the finals, yeah.
Yeah, he did do that.
I just think
and those teams
Iverson
were always in the
better
mix.
Individual career, they were good teams.
Yeah,
they were good teams.
You're still holding that Tayshaun Prince block.
I think the best thing
him.
about Reggie was he was clutch.
Reggie was clutch, and he had a couple.
One of the greatest clutch players ever.
We saw I was covering that game at Madison Square Garden, Chris. I saw that
when he had 8 points in 18 seconds.
You know where I was sitting? I was sitting under the basket. I saw the whole. That was one of those moments. I was a columnist for Newsday. I was shocked at what I saw.
No, it was phenomenal. But yeah, maybe I don't think he's too high. I'll say that 43. I wouldn't have him any lower. All right, Rob. We talked about Kyrie Irving, and he had something to say about Kevin Durant playing in the NBA Finals on the bad calf that led to a torn Achilles. Here's what Kyrie said.
We all know K was not ready to play in that environment. We all know that, whether people want to admit it or not. He was out 31 days, and we put him on a national stage on the finals to end up selling a product that came before the person Kevin. And now I'm here to protect that. I'm very patient. I'll be over patient with Kevin because I don't want anything like that to happen to anyone again, especially on that type of stage where it happened and him having to answer questions about whether or not he's coming back or not. So I'm here to dispel it that you'll never hear me say he's coming back here or I think he's coming. I want him to be 101% healthy.
Rob, what that sounds like, and look, Durant said at the same media day that Kyrie Irving is his best friend. He didn't say he's a good friend, his best friend.
Right.
So obviously they talk. And when I hear Kyrie say, I am here to protect him, now this is totally speculation based on what I'm hearing, but that leads me to think that KD gave him some impression or maybe flat out told him the other players my teammates were pressuring me. They wanted me back. Whatever it was, hey, KD, how you feeling? When you think you'll be back? You think you'll play next game? Whatever it was. But that's what I think about because otherwise it doesn't make sense. Kyrie Irving is a teammate. How's he going to protect Kevin Durant? He's not. I don't think he's comparing himself to the GM for the Warriors, to the coach for the Warriors, to the media. I think he's comparing himself to other teammates that KD has had. And that's what I take out of that he felt like the Warriors players kind of put pressure on KD to come back before he was ready.
I don't disagree. And we talked about this before. Because, Chris, you remember the whispers that we heard where players were like, "Oh, what's going on?"
Right.
He's been out.
kind of alluded to
Don't you remember
that? Right?
Yes. Yeah. So I do agree with you. That I totally agree. That he's saying, "Hey, he's out this year. I'm not pressuring this guy to rush back because I came here and I'm going to play a year without him, and it sucks or whatever." You know what I mean?
Right.
And he's just like, "I'm just going to be patient. I'm going to wait." And when he's ready, and that's the way it is. I actually like what he said. I really did. I think those guys really are good friends, and he's looking out for his welfare because, Chris, despite what the Warriors said and what Kevin Durant and his doctor signed off, I think both of us questioned him playing. We just thought, wow, really?
It didn't seem.
It didn't seem right even before the injury.
We always say it. We're not doctors.
We haven't examined
not
him.
A doctor, right?
Exactly.
So if I'm Kevin Durant, or all I can go off is what the doctors are saying. If I feel fairly good, and what you and I talked about, we can't believe how in the world did doctors clear him to play?
Absolutely, because there's a big difference between making moves, right, in a basketball flow compared to playing in the gym, putting up shots. Am I right?
No question. And we heard Steve Kerr, I believe it was, who said it, that our doctors, maybe it was Bob Myers, but one of them.
No, it was Steve Kerr.
Steve Kerr, okay. Our doctor said he could play, and KD's doctor said he could play. Yep. And that he couldn't injure the Achilles. But you and I think that's such hogwash when you say you can't injure yourself further.
Right. That was exactly the term.
You always can injure yourself further.
And I didn't understand. That's exactly what happened. And I always say to myself, if they were up 3-1, Chris, would he have played?
No.
He would have never. They would have never. To say that there wasn't some pressure there to play because they were down 3-1. And when he said to push a product that was there even before he got there, that was that Warriors thing. That's exactly what he's saying.
Who I blame, if that's the right word, is the doctors, because they're the experts in this situation.
And
we see it all the time, Rob, when they're in the pocket of the franchise.
They have a conflict of interest.
Right. Conflict of interest. So I don't know if the doctors, just held their breath and lied or what. But I blame doctors for putting him out, telling him he could play. And then ultimately, I don't want to say blame KD because I think what he did was courageous and he did it, as a warrior, because
don't forget,
pun intended.
You remember in the Super Bowl, T.O. played in a Super Bowl that he shouldn't have played in.
So I thought he showed bravery and courage in playing. But at the end of the day, and he said this before, it was his decision. Even if the doctors are saying you can play, you still didn't have to go out there. So that's what I like what Kyrie said, but I'm not going to sit here and blame the Warriors players for KD playing. Even if they were insinuating this or that or pressuring, it was his decision at the end of the day. Nobody would have shamed him for not playing. Nobody.
I don't know how you could. It wouldn't be right.
Right.